Hey, how y'all doing? Guys, today we're going to talk about something just a little bit controversial, so viewer discretion is advised, particularly if you're a food snob. Today we're going to be cooking with some good old Velveeta. I'm Stacy Gordon. Welcome to That's My Jam. If you like today's episode, I'd really appreciate it if you'd go down and hit that subscribe button for me. Guys, mac and cheese is one of my very favorite things, but there are so many different ways to fix it. I do not like my mac and cheese baked in the oven. I think it dries it out. I think it's nasty. I want my mac and cheese to be cooked on a stovetop. So I'm going to show you how to make my mac and cheese. Judge me if you want. It's delicious. Now, guys, I like a nice cheese. I'm not a total hillbilly. But when I'm making my mac and cheese, this good old Velveeta is what I want. So we're going to get a pot of water going on this stove, medium-high heat. We're going to add some salt to it. Get that water nice and salty. And while that's heating up to a boil, we're going to talk about good old Velveeta. Velveeta was originally invented when some cheese manufacturers needed something to do with their broken Swiss cheese wheels or the ones that were deformed. So they hired someone to come in and develop a system of melting the Swiss cheese down and adding something to it to make it creamier. And that something was whey. You know, eating her curds and whey. Curds of whey. Does anybody really know what that is?
So in a nutshell, originally Velveeta was made from real cheese. Today it's made mainly from whey protein concentrate, milk protein concentrate, milk fat, and preservatives.
So this is something that's affordable, that has a long shelf life, that you can keep on hand, and when you come home in the evening and you need to make it quick, this is a great go-to. So I think I'm done defending my use of pasteurized cheese product. Let's move past that. It won't be the last time you see me use it on this show. So now let's talk about the macaroni that I'm going to use. I don't use macaroni. I use rotini noodles. Guys, in my opinion, these are the best thing for mac and cheese. You see those little spirals in there? Those things just fill up with your cheese, and the pasta stays more firm than it does with regular elbow macaroni. There's nothing worse than mushy mac and cheese, except maybe dry mac and cheese that was cooked in the oven. Who's judgy now? Okay, our water is coming to a boil, so let's add our noodles. My rule of thumb is typically 2 handfuls for each person that you want to feed. But in this particular case, I've got about half a box of this rotini, and I'm going to use it all. We're going to let that go just a few minutes until these noodles are cooked. While we're waiting on that, we're going to cut up some of our Velveeta. For that much pasta, I'm going to use about this much Velveeta. If I were forced to give you a measurement on that, I'm going to say about 1/4 of the block. We're going to cut this up just a bit. I've got it into about 8 cubes. I feel like I'm going to make a lot of people mad with this video because everybody has their own way of doing their mac and cheese. But you know what I can't stand? That mac and cheese that comes in a box with the powder. At least the Velveeta resembles cheese and tastes like cheese and has a cheese-like texture. That powder, it's powder. And I'm sorry to you people who bake your mac and cheese too. Maybe yours turns out good. I just want mine super creamy. I don't want it dry. I don't want it crunchy on top. Mac and cheese makes a great side. I particularly like it with meatloaf, with salmon patties, which by the way, we'll be making those before too much longer. But you know what? Sometimes when I'm here by myself, I just make me a big old bowl of it for dinner because I can. These noodles are done, so I've drained them and put them back into our pot. Now I'm going to put them back on the heat, but I'm going to turn the heat down to about a medium heat because we don't want this cheese product to scorch. Next, I'm going to add some half and half. You can add milk if you like. I like things rich, so I'm going with a half and half, about a half a cup of that. A little salt. Lots of black pepper. And our cubed up Velveeta. I'm going to add about 3 tablespoons of real butter. And now we're just going to let that all melt together. To me, this looks a tad bit dry, so I'm going to add just a little more milk. And that's the beauty of this recipe. You can add more butter, you can add more milk, you can add more cheese. You can do whatever you want. Just another shot. When I was preparing for this video, I couldn't help but think about the episode of Schitt's Creek where David and Moira were folding in the cheese. One of the all-time greatest shows ever. By the way, if you want to see highlights of this video set to music the way it's intended to be, hop over to TikTok. You might just see something Schitt's Creek related to go with it this week. This mac and cheese is going to be good just the way it is, but sometimes I like to mix it up just a little bit. Sometimes I like a little bit of a zip. I get the Queso Blanco Velveeta, but they make one that has chilies in it and it's a little spicier. Just a little slice of that thrown in right about now gives your mac and cheese a really great zip. But I'm not going to do that today because this is just the regular Blanco, and again, I'm saving that. But what I am going to do is add a little bit of cream cheese. This is an optional step because this is fine just the way it is. But about 1/3 of a block of cream cheese thrown in there is going to give it just a little zingy zip that I like. Totally optional. Once again, I feel like we need yet another little shot of our milk or our half and half. This is just where common sense overrides a recipe. Keep an eye on it. If it looks too thick, add some more milk. I'm going to give you an idea of what's going on in this pot. The Velveeta and the cream cheese are starting to melt. Everything's looking good. Y'all, this is creamy. It's cheesy. The cheese is clinging onto those little spirals. Yo, there is no better comfort food. I promise there just is not. That's be my lunch today. I hope y'all enjoyed today's video. And I hope I didn't offend you if you're a cheese snob, a chef, or somebody who bakes their mac and cheese. I'm sorry, you're doing it wrong. Check in with me next week. There's a big football game coming up before long, and we're going to be talking about some appetizers that you can fix to serve that day. In the meantime, turn off the TV, turn on some music, and just keep